Through storms, unshaken, unbowed. Through trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it aloud. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key. Make the big switch. Power to the people. Time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him. He's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules. A new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way. Say goodbye to all chains, embrace the new. A financial revolution, fair and true. For the workers, the dreamers, side by side. In Trump's new era, let freedom rise. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key. Make the big switch. Power to the people. Time to ditch the rich.
Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Kryptonite channel. I am Zester, and thank you guys so much for joining this evening or afternoon. I guess it all just depends on where you're at in the world, but thank you guys so much for joining on another illustrious Trump Day. Keep in mind, it's not Hump Day, it's Trump Day. And thank you guys so much, because Mile High Trish here with the first comment. Happy Trump Day. Happy Trump Day to you as well, Mile High Trish. And thank you so much for being here. And Gary coming in at number 1 on the like button today. Thank you so much. What's up, Billy? What is Kukla? How are you doing? I hope you're having an amazing Trump Day, Kukla. Oh, and I am. I'm going to kind of rush through a little bit of the comments today, not because I want to, but because, well, we've got a few different interesting things to talk about, and we're going to try to spend a lot of time today answering questions for folks. There's so much going on in the world, whether it is inside or outside of cryptocurrency. In all honesty, there's far more in the world going on than just crypto right now. We've got an extreme situation occurring in the Middle East in regards to Israel and the Iranian proxies that I know has been a large part of really my focus over the past days, just because it's such important news. There's so much to talk about. And so I'm going to rush slightly through saying hellos today. I'm sorry for anyone that I do accidentally miss. But we've just got a lot to talk about. And so we need to get to that point where we get to discuss it all. And so let's go through hellos to anyone else. And of course, we've got to highlight a few of Gary's jokes. Gary 7, one bird goes to the other. How many birds does it take to screw in a light bulb? The other bird replies, well, I'm pretty sure 2 can. Gary, it's punny. It's particularly punny. I always appreciate those, Gary. Thank you so much for including them. They crack me up. What's up, Linda Hearn? All right. Well, welcome, Paintress. Thank you so much for joining us. Robert Chandler says, ask Esther if he can muster up some mean tweets. Robert, what kind of mean tweets do you want? I'd be happy to provide. I know that on a regular basis, I have a large amount of things that are not being addressed by the media or not being addressed on social media that I think should be far more important. So, Robert, let me know what kind of mean tweets you want, and I bet I can provide them. What is up, Savvy and Charlene and Flying Squirrel? Thank you guys so much for being here. And Kukla, where is your t-shirt? I am sorry, Kukla. I did not get a chance to run up to Pops' house. I've gotten to see it. I forgot it the last time I was there. Do not worry. I will be wearing it on the next stream for certain. Guaranteed. I will be wearing the new shirt there, Kukla. Yes, 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 yes. Also, with Kukla coming in with the save once again, before I jump into talking about what's going on in regards to cryptocurrency and the world really on whole, it is important that I go ahead and state that the content of this podcast is not designed to be professional advice. It is for educational and entertainment purposes alone. And so please, before you make any major decisions, whether they are legal, financial, or spiritual, please consult with a licensed professional before doing anything of that nature. It's an important one to cover, and it's something that I easily forget. Thank you, Kukla, as always, for keeping me on the right path. And so, with all of that stated, let's go ahead and jump into what we do have today. It's a pretty limited day in regards to news, and that's why I'm really excited to answer questions today. And so if anyone has got things that maybe I have not answered in the past streams, or new questions that come up throughout the news that I do cover, please, today is the perfect day to ask them. The perfect day. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump up to where we normally start, guys, with our update on where the market is currently sitting at. Right now, we are looking at Bitcoin sitting at $60,876 per coin. Ethereum, 2,383. BNB, pretty much everything is massively down. XRP sitting at 57 cents, down 4.9% in just the past 24 hours. And so the market is taking a bit of a downturn. And in all honesty, that really is just something that we had talked about last week, where we had seen these massive price boosts on account of the interest rate reduction from the Federal Reserve. We saw a 50 basis points reduction. And we have then seen since that day, crypto was sitting well above 60,000. We're testing some of those levels on the down point. And so we are starting to kind of see where the market is really happy being at the point in time. XRP at 57 cents is, well, very, very, very well up. But at the same time, it felt a lot better over 60 cents because XRP has been stuck for a very, very long time in the 48, 49 cents per XRP to the 60-cent level. It was particularly nice seeing us skyrocket above it on the 29th, but ultimately we are continuing to drop down. And that is not XRP's fault. That's just a matter of the overall market. There's nothing they can do to correct that. Ultimately, if Bitcoin is plummeting in value 4% over the past 7 days, any other cryptocurrency is going to have a very hard time maintaining its price point. As you can see, it is not unique to just XRP. It is Bitcoin down 4% over 7 days, Ethereum 7.7, BNB 7.7, Solana 6.7, XRP 2.6. XRP is holding infinitely better than all of the competition at this point, but it is not capable of completely diverging from the general trend. Right now, Tron is the only guy sitting up, and Shiba Inu over the past week are the only guys sitting up inside of the top 20. Shiba Inu up 5.4% over the past week, and Tron up 2.7%. Otherwise, market is headed down. Let's go ahead and get into what is far more interesting, in my opinion, and that is kind of doing a bit more of a deep dive on the World Liberty financial update that they provided on September 30th. We talked about this on Monday, but we didn't highlight it because we had the ZIG from Zimbabwe that we also needed to cover. And so ultimately it became kind of a split stream. We talked about ZIG. We talked about what is occurring in regards to Zimbabwe's gold-backed currency. And then we talked a little bit about the World Liberty financial update. And I'd like to kind of give people more time to ask questions about World Liberty financial in particular and talk about that. And so today, that's going to be a major focus. We'll talk about the ZIG and any questions that people have in regards to it. Of course, please ask. Happy to also talk about it. But World Liberty Financial is going to be a bit of the focus this evening. And so what we heard on September 30th from the World Liberty Financial team and from Donald J. Trump himself is that whitelists are now open. What does the term whitelist mean? This is something that I didn't really cover on the previous stream, and I'd like to hammer down on so everyone understands. What a whitelist is effectively a check mark to say that you are someone who is allowed to buy. If you're on the whitelist, that means you're allowed to participate in the pre-sale of World Liberty Financial token. You make it on the list, you get to buy in. You're not on the list, you do not get to participate. And this is something that was very important that I know that some people had questions about. They're like, well, if you're an accredited investor or any of these different denominations or ways of separating us, if I'm this, am I allowed to participate? If I'm this, am I allowed to participate? Ultimately, the whitelist means if you get into it, you are allowed to participate. You get to buy during the pre-sale of World Liberty Financial. And so what we have as an update from that is, well, it occurred yesterday. World Liberty Financial tweeted out that our whitelist is already a massive success. Thousands of people have joined and we're just getting started. Don't miss your chance to be part of something revolutionary. This was the most recent tweet we received. Otherwise, everything is in regards to how you enter into the whitelist itself. And for those that are curious and might currently be thinking, hey, I would like to be a part of the Donald Trump, the Trump family crypto project. Well, there are a few questions I'm going to have to ask you first. Are you an American citizen? If you are an American citizen, you are not allowed to participate in the whitelist for World Liberty Financial unless you are an accredited investor. And so, an accredited investor is somebody who has got a lot of money. I'm going to quit trying to define what an accredited investor is, and I'm going to start using very general terms because I've gotten a little bit of pushback because I say that an accredited investor in the United States is effectively a millionaire. Well, that is a true statement, but it is not necessarily the exact definition of what an accredited investor is. And so I'm going to continue to use vague terms. Needless to say, if you are sitting in the same situation as me, where you do not know what the qualifications for a accredited investor are, Well, you're not an accredited investor. They are someone who is making many times over a six-figure income each year, and they are someone who has been doing that on a regular basis and also has got a lot of money sitting in the bank. That is effectively what an accredited investor is. If we want to hammer down and we want to specify on all the different things, I'm happy to do that. But effectively, it is not me, at least. I'm not one. And so Jeremy here has got the definition. An accredited investor is an individual or entity that meets specific financial criteria, such as having a net worth over $1 million, excluding their primary residence, or an annual income exceeding $200,000 if they're single. If you're married, you're going to have to make $300,000 a year, allowing them to invest in private security offerings not registered with financial authorities. So, for anyone that's curious, that's the more specific definition there. And that is, it's something where you and I most likely are not. At least I know I am not. I don't want to speak for everyone else. But yes, we are not allowed to participate. And so, as we go through a lot of the other qualifications here, we can focus on, while these whitelists are currently open to accredited investors in the U.S. and all non-U.S. persons, we are not turning our backs on everyday Americans. Our mission is to bring financial freedom to everyone, no matter their background or bank balance. This does mean, and that point right there, all non-U.S. persons means you do not have to have a lot of money. If you are not inside of the United States, if you're a Canadian with $100 in your bank account, you are capable of signing up and registering for the whitelist. If you are in Europe, you have got the ability to sign up and spend $100 purchasing World Liberty Financial Token. If you are an American, you have got to be an accredited investor. As we talked about on Monday, this is not in any way because the Trump family or World Liberty Financial wants it to work that way. It is not their choice. It is the way that the rules and regulations currently work. And so I want to make those two things clear, that number one, I'm not happy about it. And number two, it's not the Trump family's fault. It's not their fault that the rules work this way and that only accredited investors get to participate, or non-U.S. residents. That is how cryptocurrency has been working for the past 8 years. That is how it's been working. Ultimately, as American citizens, we are getting done dirty in regards to how these investments work, just because we are not allowed to participate in the same way that a foreign national is. From Canada, you're allowed in. From the United States, you better be a millionaire. I don't love that. It's not the Trump's fault. And that's something that I know that I had talked about on Monday, and that some folks had sent me a message saying, hey, why are you bashing the Trumps? I'm not bashing the Trump family. I'm bashing the SEC. I'm bashing our previous lawmakers in regards to how these regulatory bodies operate. In that way, I am not happy. But I understand exactly why it is working this way. And Kay, great question. Zester, who is making these guidelines? These guidelines are being written by the SEC. The SEC does not have the right to write laws. That is not something that any regulatory body inside of the United States has got the right to do. But ultimately, if no one in terms of the legislative branch is going to write them, then these 3, 4, 5, 6 letter organizations have the opportunity to go ahead and expand their jurisdiction. And that's what they've done. The SEC has taken advantage of this time to expand its jurisdiction. They are continuing to influence things that they do not have the legal right to do. Right now, that is what is happening. There is no legal backing for the SEC to be writing these rules. There is none. The problem is, until our congressmen and women decide to actually do something about it, it is not going to stop. The SEC will continue to make up BS rules until they're forced to not, because it is in their best interest as an organization to continue to make up these rules because it expands their power. They right now have the ability to essentially say, hey, we are the SEC, Security Exchange Commission, and no one has told us we're not allowed to. So we're going to go ahead and say that we're in charge of this and we're in charge of that. And they're going to continue to do this until someone tells them stop. And that is not going to happen. Not going to happen under the current administration. The Biden administration is not going to tell the SEC to stop. And that means they're going to continue to get to expand their powers. Savvy says, I'm too poor to pay attention to this. Savvy, the unfortunate part about this is that the reason we are all suffering so much is because these organizations are allowed to make rules without our input. That's the irony of the situation, is that a lot of these rules and laws seem like they're focused on folks that have a lot of money. What they do is they keep people from ever achieving having that amount of money. And this current token with World Liberty Financial, being able to buy into it is a matter of being able to vote. In the World Liberty Financial ecosystem, this current token offering is a matter of governance. The more World Liberty Financial token you own, the more votes you own. That is a very, very dangerous and slippery slope. Right now, World Liberty Financial literally means you have a vote over how the entire crypto platform and ecosystem operates, and it's only available to accredited U.S. investors or non-U.S. citizens. It's BS. It's absolute BS. I am not happy about it, but I don't blame the Trump family for it. It is our regulatory bodies that should be blamed for the fact that this is the way things are going. But we all have to really take into consideration and think about it from our perspectives. Just because it's not the Trump's family fault for it occurring, it's still something that we need to be knowledgeable and aware of, in that we are going to be dealing with the repercussions of it. In a couple months' time, the laws may finally be written. Come December, January, February, for certain, there could be laws written that allow you and I, as just average, everyday Americans, to participate in World Liberty Financial. I expect that to be a thing. I think that following Trump's win, we're going to see laws put into place that mean you and I are allowed to participate. Right now, that's not the case. And so we have to kind of go ahead and imagine a world or a future that we really do not have the ability to see today. We have to think about the fact that things are going to be changing. We're going to be going to a place where, as average, everyday Americans, we're allowed to be a part of it. And I think it's a great point. And Kukla just said, let's hope so. Sester, I agree, Kukla. Let's hope. Because it's all going to come down to this election. Mary Jones, we need to fire these 3-letter agencies that make their own rules. I agree, Mary Jones. I 100% agree. It is unconstitutional. It is unacceptable. No regulatory body should be making up laws or rules. A regulatory body is literally put in place by legislation. We should legislate what a regulatory body is regulating. That is how it's supposed to work. That is how federalism inside of the United States is supposed to work. These agencies are absolutely intended to be for the benefit of the American people. They are not designed to be writing rules, writing laws, or doing anything besides enforcing the law. They are there to enforce the law, not to write it. But that's how it tends to work at this point in time. All right. World Musical Lady, you wonder if this World Liberty Finance of Americans who aren't accredited is another narrative move to gaslighting us and wake us up to pay attention and be more aware. I would hope so, Musical Lady. I would hope that this wakes people up. Because for the vast majority of Americans, they have not been aware of how cryptocurrency and how this new market has been operating. Most people don't know that they were never even allowed to participate. Trump is bringing that to the forefront. He is making that something that everyone is aware of. And that in and of itself is extremely valuable. Extremely valuable for folks to know now what has been occurring. At least folks are aware at this point. Whereas in the past, it was just happening. And the administration was capable of getting away with essentially whatever they wanted to. All right, let's jump past that, though, and get into a little bit more of the information that we have. We don't have much more here from World Liberty Financial. All we know beyond that is that they plan for all Americans to be able to use the platform, giving everyone access to the tools and opportunities that have been restricted for far too long. And that, in my mind, was a very clear indication from the World Liberty Financial team that this is based around what is going to occur in the coming election. This project, this company, is 100% reliant on the election. If Trump wins, World Liberty Financial has a future. If Trump loses, World Liberty Financial is either going to become a parallel economy or it's going to die. It's one of the two, parallel economy or dead. It does not seem like there is any in between. I would highly advise anyone that is an accredited investor inside of the United States to take in mind that fact. The fact is, even if you choose to or are capable of investing, there is essentially a gigantic question mark around your investment, and it is based 100% on the election. Trump wins. I have a very good feeling that people that invested in World Liberty Financial are going to be happy about their decision. If Trump loses, I think there is somewhat of a chance that people who invested in World Liberty Financial are going to be happy with their decision. And that is a debate that I think anyone and everyone's going to have on a personal level. Ultimately, if you are capable of participating, and I know that we have people in Canada, we have people in Europe, I know that we have folks who are allowed to participate. If you choose to do so, I would just keep those things in mind, that ultimately many people are not able, and You do not technically have the ability or right to sell what you paid for. It is just a vote. It's just one vote per token. You buy 100 World Liberty financial tokens, you get 100 votes. You buy 1,000, you get 1,000 votes. You buy 1,000,000, you get 1,000,000 votes. That is how voting works on a blockchain. I just think everyone needs to be aware of that. Everyone needs to be conscious of it, and people need to make their own educated decision about whether they want to participate or not. I would say, of course, biased, if I had the ability to invest, I would. I would not invest much. I would probably put $100, $1,000 tops into something like this, just because I can't sell it and I don't know if I'm ever going to profit from owning it. That is a gigantic question mark, and people that have money do not continue to have money by wasting it. And so I don't have enough money to waste any. I aspire to achieving that goal at some point in my life. And so I imagine that means this is something I shouldn't participate in, because I don't have it. I want to have it. And buying into things that make no sense is a good way of ensuring that number one and number two never occur. And so I'm sitting in that place at this point. We do not know. Treebeard asks, how are the tokens priced right now? We do not even know. We do not even know. I have some rumors. That are running around that I have heard about, that the general price point on the tokens in terms of a market cap, they are targeting $2 billion as being the initial market cap. I have heard that. I've seen that from a variety of different sources, but I do not have any proof that that is going to be the market cap. I've just heard it. 2 billion being the market cap, that means that the per token price is going to be dictated off of how many tokens exist. To give you an example, if there are 1 billion World Liberty financial tokens, this is absolutely not verified. I am using examples here. If there are 1 billion World Liberty financial tokens and the market cap is 2 billion, that means every token would be worth $2. That is just an example. I have heard the market cap of 2 billion thrown around. I do not know, and none of us will know, what the amount of tokens are in circulation, probably until it's 100% public knowledge. Even if I do find out what it's going to be ahead of time, I am certain it's going to come with a very, very aggressive NDA or non-disclosure agreement. And so we do not know what that per token price will be. We have got the rumors that it will be a $2 billion market cap. And so to give people examples here on what I mean in regards to a market cap, BNB. Well, we'll use this as our example. BNB has got a market capitalization of $79 billion. $79,407,014,406 if we're going to get real particular. And so that means that there are a total supply of 145 million. And so if you take the 79 billion number and you divide it by the total supply, you will get $544.73. It's the same logic. When you come down to World Liberty Financial. If the market cap is 2 billion, the question you need to have is, what is the total supply? What is the circulating supply? That is how you dictate the price point of a cryptocurrency. It is the market capitalization divided by the circulating supply. That's it. That's the very, very easy way to look at a lot of these things. What is the price of Bitcoin? The price of Bitcoin is the market cap, which is 1.2 trillion, divided by the total or the circulating supply, depending on the situation. That in and of itself is the very easy way for you to go about understanding why your token is currently worth what it is. Let's go through and do XRP real quick, because I know so many folks own it. XRP is what just happened. XRP is down 2.8% in the past hour. We literally looked at it a matter of 20 minutes ago, and we were up about 4 cents more. But all you need to do when you're looking at the price of something is look at the market capitalization. In this case, $31,498,198,398, and then look at the circulating supply. That is the price point of your XRP holdings. It is always just divide the market cap by the circulating supply. And so that was something that I know many folks had been questioning on. They were wondering how market capitalizations got figured out. How were they approximated? And Savvy, every time I hear someone say $1 billion or $2 billion, I hear Mike Myers, Dr. Evil. I'm the same exact way, Savvy, the same exact way. And so for anyone, though, that is curious, that would be the same logic here. If we hear that World Liberty Financial is targeting a $2 billion launch, all we need to then ask is, what is the circulating supply? And if we take the $2 billion launch and we divide it by the circulating supply, we will have the exact answer to how much they are planning on selling each token for. An easy little hack for everyone out there that's wondering about things. It's circulating supply and market capitalization. Those are the only two numbers that you need to know. If you know those two, you pretty much know how things are going. All right. With all of that stated, guys, it's going to be a fairly short stream this evening. We can go in and we can talk about what is occurring in the Middle East in terms of Israel and the wars against the Iranian proxies. That, in my mind, is probably the most important news and information that is currently circulating. There really is not anything more important than that, because that is either the beginning of World War III, or it is the conclusion of the second day of the 6-Day War 2.0. For those that are not aware of the original 6-Day War executed by Israel, I believe back in the 70s. I probably should have looked that up before I threw a number out. It was a multi-day war that effectively saw Israel smash all of their worries in the Middle East. And it seems like that's what we're currently experiencing on a 2.0 level. That, or we are watching the beginning of something that is going to be influencing not only cryptocurrency, but all of our markets for the foreseeable future. And that has been a large part of what I have been looking at in terms of news. At this point in time, there is no more important news than what is going on in the Middle East. I know that many folks are very worried about the port strikes. I 100% agree that a strike from port workers is a huge problem. What I would just highly, highly suggest to people is to keep in mind that this entire port strike seems like a planned event, in that what essentially has been set up is an opportunity for Kamala Harris and the Biden administration to solve a huge issue. That's what's being set up. This is 100% a planned event in regards to the port strikes. I truly believe that it is. I could be wrong. I often am. I'm not always right. But in this case, it seems extremely apparent that the port strikes and everything that are coming around with it are a planned event. I will go ahead and put it on record stating that I guarantee in the coming weeks that Kamala Harris and the Biden administration are going to solve the problem and mediate the issues, and they are going to become a very, very, very effective political team. Go ahead, put it on record. It's what's happening. I understand exactly what they're doing. It's a crockload of BS, and they are planning towards this event. They have set all of this up, and in the coming weeks, the Biden and Kamala team are going to solve all of our problems on a domestic level while they continue to initiate World War III in the Middle East. And so these two things are occurring at the same time, and it's something that we're going to learn more about in the coming days. And then we'll all get to do a surprised Pikachu face when suddenly everything starts to occur. And so with all of that stated up, well, we even got the original Mark Z in here pre-arranged. It is pre-arranged, Pops. They are planning towards these things because just like Todd said, it's all event driven. I agree, Todd. They are pushing us in directions with these different events. How we choose to react to them is where we have some influence on the entire thing. But they're still going to succeed with the vast majority of Americans. Treebeard, how did that Zester, how did that Pikachu face go again? Now, Treebeard, after that statement, I feel like I'm going to have to avoid making the surprised Pikachu face. I have a feeling you're looking for a screenshot. Michelle New, thank you so much. And it is. It's a very, very, very dangerous point in time. I know that we have got everything going on in terms of crypto and the financial side right now, but ultimately the ongoing event in the Middle East is going to dictate a lot of our future conversations. It's going to dictate what we're talking about in a matter of weeks and months. Because what if Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, and this group of countries that are currently being pushed out of the current American-led system, what if they do decide to band together? And now we're having a conversation not about a war in Ukraine and a war in the Middle East, but we're having a conversation about a truly global and connected war. That's something that we need to be keeping in mind and something that we need to be aware of, because it is very much on the table at this point in time. And our politicians and our leaders right now are going to either make the decision to push us towards that domino event or to not. And so I desperately hope that we are not pushing towards that event, not at least this quickly. And so for all those, what was my Pikachu face? Surprise Pikachu? Yeah, I'll make one more for you. Surprised Pikachu. But yes, we need to be very, very aware of what's going on. And I know that we are being distracted by the port strike, and they are trying to divide us on it. The general messaging around Harold, the guy in charge of the port strike. Harold has got a yacht, and Harold has got $900,000 a year is his yearly salary. Harold is not struggling, and Harold also has a very, very weird criminal history including a body found in his trunk that just so happens to be somebody that he was in a legal dispute with. And so the whole port strike and everything that's going on there, suspicious is not the right word. To say that it smells fishy, no. It is fish. The fish smell fishy. And so the whole narrative doesn't add up. Please keep that in mind while we are receiving all of the novels, the movie, the story being fed by the mainstream media, that it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. We got some dude named Harold who makes a shit ton of money, who is suddenly extremely worried about really giving it to the entire country in terms of where their products and supplies come from, all while the entire union is in 100% the Democrat pocket. And they are going to get to have this massive press opportunity where the Democratic Party and administration get to solve all of our country's problems in one fell swoop. They're just going to show up, and Kamala is going to sit down at a table with this guy who is worried about going to jail. And so he obviously is going to agree to whatever she says. And she is going to essentially fix all of our problems. It's going to happen. I know that's what's occurring. I'm looking forward to watching these things together with y'all. But at the same time, I also dread watching it because I know that for many Americans, they'll buy the garbage. They'll believe it. They'll be like, holy crap, we were going to be paying $1,000 per gallon of milk, and thanks to Kamala Harris, we aren't. We're going to be paying $20 per gallon of milk. And people are dumb enough to genuinely believe it. And that's going to be the narrative, and it's going to occur in the coming weeks. And, well, you heard it here. We'll see if I'm right or we'll see if I'm wrong. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and bid everyone adieu for the evening. And I'm going to be getting ready to jump over and hang out at 7 p.m. on the original Mark Z channel. And so please join me over there. I don't know what we're doing in terms of after it or whether there'll be a little bit of a long one. You'll have to go ahead and talk to the original Mark Z on that front. But otherwise, love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And Treebeard, now that you said that, I'm going to post pictures in the Discord chat. So, all right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.